Well, hello. This is a test. And hello, this is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. So, Wednesdays is supposed to be my normal weather podcast day. So, what I'm planning on, Tuesdays, if you joined me, I was game streaming. And with the game stream, hello, Delvin. Pitch black here. So, you joined me last night. I know we were talking about the schedule a little bit. So essentially, what it looks like I'm going to be doing is Wednesday will be weather podcast. So Tuesday, game stream, weather podcast, and then sporadically throughout more weather updates. And maybe some car videos here and there. I know I had the How to Drive Manual series on Thursdays, so maybe I'll reserve Thursdays for car days, but we'll see. This is something I'm trying right now, so if you remember, the last time I game streamed, it didn't end up going too well. Let me just check a couple things here. Also, audio-wise, this microphone is doing really, really well. Maybe 3 feet away from me is an air conditioner. This is also something I think I was having an issue with the gaming computer, is it was overheating. So in the internal temperatures, they were starting to get, if you know Celsius, right around 40 Celsius, which is tolerable, but even at idle, at 40 Celsius, and in my room, it was probably about 25 Celsius. So it was in the mid to upper 70s in my room. So that wasn't good at all. Let me just check here. And then I'm going to try switching over to the computer monitor. So games and storms. That's what I did yesterday. That was the last video uploaded. Let me just message out on live. So this really wasn't doing too much. Yeah, I'll live. The computer equipment wasn't. So it's doing pretty well right now. I switched the fans around, so if you're into computer building, there's two kind of mentalities for a fan setup: positive pressure and negative pressure. So right now, I have two fan intakes on the front with radiators cooling the two GPUs. I have two fans on the top exhausting the heat. So two in from the front, pushing heat into the system that gets evacuated out the top. And I also have one smaller fan on the CPU radiator going out the back. So it's kind of like a bottom right to top left kind of flow with the airflow. But essentially, I have 3 exhaust, 2 intake. So that can be considered a negative pressure situation. Hello, Delvin. Oh, I see. Live, not live. Not live, not live. There we go. But I like this microphone. Also, this has a nice little feature. So with this microphone, flipping it up like that is a quick mute. So like if something happens and I need to mute the audio, I can do that very quickly. Just flip up the microphone, take the headset off, and it's all muted. I have the AC set to 65, and it's been running a while right now. Alright, let's see here. Oh, looks like I gained another subscriber since the last time I looked. Thank you all for subscribing. Yes, I like those fireside streams that I was doing. Alright, this looks good. Now is going to be the tricky part. I am going to bring up the computer screen. Last time this had some issues. Actually, let me grab another light. It's a little dim. I'll be right back. Hello. Yeah, Raymond, I saw your message too about hinting at flash flood risk. But let me get this light going. There. That looks a bit better. So light on. Ooh, that's too bright. Light off. I think it helps. There we go. Alright. So, let me see if I can bring this up. And hopefully... Alright, it's still going decently smooth. Alright. And let's see. Good. That's going smooth. So if you can see here, these are the temperatures inside the computer case from the motherboard right now. They're mostly in the 20s Celsius, which is good. So these were in the 40s last time I was trying this. And I think that's what kept causing some games to crash, but we'll check that in a second. But since we're not doing a full weather podcast, we'll just do a little weather talk here. Oops, not weather.com. Weather.gov. There's not really, actually, Raymond, there is no standard value. You can have thunderstorms at 500, you can have thunderstorms at 5,000. But, me personally, 1,000 Cape, well, Cape isn't actually a unit. The unit is joules per kilogram. But for a Cape value that is right around 1,000 joules per kilogram, that is decent. The other thing you have to look for is sin. Not sin as in religion sin. Sin, which is C-I-N. Convective inhibitions. So if you have 1,000 CAPE for joules per kilogram with CAPE and 1,000 sin, those cancel each other out and it's essentially a 0. Let's see here. There's actually a dense fog advisory right now for, looks like, most of the south shore of Long Island going into the New York City harbor. And let's see if this goes down the coast. Yep, this goes all the way down the Jersey Shore. All the way down to Cape May and a little bit beyond that. No other stuff, but there's a hazardous weather outlook here. We'll take a look at that in a second, Raymond. Dense fog advisory. Dense fog advisory. That's all this is really saying, at least for here. Let me see Albany. Nope, not Binghamton. Nope, not there. Oh. Albany. Hazardous weather. Thunderstorms are possible Thursday afternoon through Friday evening. Some thunderstorms will produce heavy rain, which could cause localized flash flooding, especially on Friday. I think that's what you mentioned. So that was the hazardous weather outlook, which means that's just a little discussion. It doesn't actually mean that there's something out there. But let's see here. So there is Tropical Depression Alberto. Oh. NHC has issued its final advisory. Public advisory from the Weather Prediction Center will provide updates as long as the system remains a flood threat. So this used to be called the Hydrological Prediction Center. Now it's just the Weather Prediction Center. The area forecast discussions. Let's see what this says. Flood warnings, flash flood watches in effect. Yeah, it's still there. Anthony, yes. If it didn't change characteristics, it would still be the same state, but it's always going to change characteristics as soon as it goes on land. The other thing I do want to check is the Storm Prediction Center. And this looks like it's doing pretty well. Good. So this essentially was from today. There be Oklahoma kind of in the bullseye. I think that's what you were mentioning, Raymond. So that's today. Let's see about tomorrow. Yeah. It's there for tomorrow. Not enhanced. Friday. So this essentially, this giant, the widespread area, it's probably because Alberto is spreading out to be a very wide system. Yeah, the remnant low pressure kind of loses all tropical characteristics. So That's probably why the National Hurricane Center is like, sorry, we're done. Hands off. Let's now go to Tropical Tidbits. I think I'm back. Let me check to make sure I am back. So it's weird. This app crashes every once in a while in the middle of a live stream. So that's why I have to pay attention. Weird. This app crashes every once in a while in the middle of a live. All right. So that's good. All right, now let me switch back. All right, let's see. I was about to go to tropicaltidbits.com. Did I not type that right? I did not. So I'm going to do an interesting view. I'm going to do Eastern U.S. Raymond, I'm not sure what you mean by your comment. Thunderstorm risk in this part of the country tomorrow is the 20th anniversary, you mean? 20th anniversary of what? So this is the GFS. Actually, we don't have that much. 12. Huh. Why is it only showing the 12Z? Does anyone know if there's model issues? Oh, 20th anniversary of the May 31st. I see what you mean. Wow, this is slow. Also, why is it only showing the 12Z? Let's try one of these other ones. I would have assumed a couple more have come out unless they just stopped updating. Okay. Hello, Pete. Thanks for joining. I like how the mouse on this is moving almost in real time. When I try playing a game, this will be probably much better. Alright, let's see what this is. So, it's still only showing the 12Z. The 18Z should be out. Like for this one, the 18Z is out. This is the Icon, the German model. Yes, it was in the upper 70s, I think. let's see. I just want to see what the White Plains Airport had. So it looks like 76 was the high here. And when did these start breaking? Yeah, in the afternoon we started getting nice clear skies, and it's nice and clear outside right now. This is still not loaded. It's very slow. I don't know if this is because I'm streaming. Oh, and since this looks a lot better than the last time I was streaming with the frame rate, I switched from a wireless setup to an Ethernet setup. So I have a network switch, well, a 5-port network switch where I have going to a router, which is hardlined into my cable modem. I have my computer Ethernet in there. I have the video switcher, or the video encoder, that I'm using to take HDMI and convert that to Ethernet plugged into the switch as well. Oh, so Raymond, it's because of the hills. Tornadoes don't like hills, but we all know tornadoes can happen in this area. That's why. That's one of the reasons. The other reason is you can kind of think of the northeast area as a funnel. All weather either travels west or a little bit north, or from west to east, or a little bit from west to northeast. So it's all kind of like funneling into the northeast. So this is where we get a lot of dynamics. In the Tornado Alley, I guess you could say, area, or just the Mid-Atlantic, or the Midwest states themselves, there's not that much of air masses attacking each other there. The Northeast is a meeting point. So that meeting point causes issues with the forecast models, and that causes issues with the forecast. But what time is this? So the high, yep. The icons do initializing well, and initializing, I mean the first frame of the forecast model, if it's actually showing what's actually out there, better. So here, the high pressure system is still strong, so it's keeping all that rain at bay. But that starts to move out of the way. And I think Thursday, yep, we got a little shower chance. But remember, around high pressure, we have clockwise rotation. So this is bringing in moisture off, or southerly flow, or southeasterly flow off of the Atlantic. And we have this other system coming in that's bringing in more warmth. So moisture and warmth makes for some very hot and humid situations. Friday. This is where it looks like the remnant low is kind of coming in a bit. And it doesn't move too far too quickly. This is why there is a shower chance pretty much until... Is this reforming? Interesting. Did everybody see that? It's reforming. So the Alberto's there. Oh wait, now this a different system? So Alberto goes away. Yes, it's a different system that goes out. Never mind, not reforming. Let me double check. So there goes Alberto into Canada. Alberto into Alberta. Even though Alberta, Canada is not there. So then there's another system in the middle of the screen there that as it approaches the Atlantic, it kind of strengthens, but then once it hits the Atlantic Ocean, it really strengthens there. But this is at the end of the forecast model period. This one is 120 hours, so I didn't change the time for this one, but that, I would say, looks kind of like a tropical system. Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, that is the way it should be, even though I do see some people on television that are kind of sticking to the forecast models. Like you see the Futurecast, and you're like, right there's going to be a shower right there at 3:14 p.m. No, the models, none of them are accurate. None of them are going to show the truth. They're all lies. But essentially, yes, none of them are correct. None of these forecast models, no matter how good they are, none of them will be correct. You can kind of get close. And this is where the forecaster has to take all these forecast models and kind of internalize them. It's an art form. Yes, Raymond. Slow mover, that's why you have the flash flood risk. So that was the icon model. Let's skip that one. Let's just see what the NAM says. I'm still curious as to why the GFS, or at least, or maybe it was just a Tropical Tidbits site, but I'll check it on my internal site. Ooh, this could be a while. If you notice at the right side of the screen, there's red squares and white squares. See how the white squares are popping in very slowly? That means the internet is kind of slow. And yes, the RPM model is the future. Well, Futurecast is a loose term. The RPM model is used for the Futurecast most of the time. But you can also have the Futurecast, and some meteorologists, and like great meteorologists I work with, Joe Chaffee included, they would say Futurecast EC, was it ECMF, something like that? That's 0. Futurecast GFS, Futurecast NAM. Let me see if I can get somebody else to join. So I'm talking to my friend who was in my How to Drive Manual series. This guy's got 20,000 subscribers on YouTube right now. I'm trying to see if he wants to join into the chat. I took a funny picture for him. We were discussing with YouTube back and forth about why he has so many versus I only have, what is it, 84 I think now? I really can't wait to get to 100 subscribers so I can change my URL. I want this to match every other social media platform I have. Shiny. Alright, I sent that to him. Alright, let's see here. So, the NAM finally loaded. It's initializing well as also. So, it just isn't far enough out right now, but if you notice, it looks like that low pressure system going across the middle part of the screen right now. As it's approaching, the east coast is starting to strengthen. So maybe it'll do what the GFS was showing. Or the icon. The GFS we couldn't get because it's not showing me anything newer than the 12Z. So, not necessarily a blocking pattern. That has partly to do with it. What it really has to do with is the switch with El Nino, La Nina. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now as to why the tornado season, even though there's no official tornado season, is the way it is right now. It's again, that's a theory. There's nothing really concrete about it. That's what's nice with this. It's all an art form and scientific hypotheses and educated guesses. So, it really isn't working. So what I'm going to try now, I'm going to try and play a game. And hopefully it works, because all of this looks pretty smooth right now. So it looks like this setup is working. Alright, let's close out there. How are these temperatures? 20s, 20s, 20s. Ooh, look at this one. So the GeForce GTX 1080 is at 23 Celsius. That's probably close to what room temperature is right now. Remember, if you're not familiar with Celsius versus Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius is 68 Fahrenheit. This is showing 23 degrees Celsius. And I'm getting some 24, 25 degrees. It's kind of fluctuating on the CPU. So I think this air conditioner is working very well. So it's not causing any overheating issues. So let's see how this works with a game. I tried Gears of War last time. Let's see if I can get that up and running again. Also, right next to my image there, Destiny 2 is a new game. I haven't even opened it yet. So I am going to just try Gears for a little bit. Then I'm going to hop off the stream and try Destiny. Alright, that seems to be working with the audio. That was also another struggle I had last time. Was I was trying to play the game, listening to it, because essentially the audio output from the computers is going through this video switcher. Oh, it looked like the computer screen went out. Huh. Same issue. So this game, Gears of War 4, is having some problems. It's a Microsoft Studios game, and there was a Microsoft update that crashed the Microsoft game. Microsoft's killing Microsoft. So, we will start up another Microsoft game, which I call Minecraft. Minecraft. Let's try this one. This is not graphically intensive at all, so this should work, and this will test at least the streaming part. Alright. Let's see. Ah. Okay. I think that looks much better. Stanley, thanks for joining. So I never thought I'd be able to actually do this, but it's working right now. I could try Destiny 2 on the live stream. I just wanted to test this on something that was very low graphically intensive, just because I want to see frame rate wise this is looking much better. Also, Stanley, your comment, this app I'm using to see the comments, just has it as Apple logo, umlaut, E something, A something. I think I should be able to pull it up on this. There we go. Ah, Stanley, I see you waved. That's it. So, I think this app, anybody in the chat, look above Earth. That's my friend that was in the How to Drive Manual series. He's the guy that got the 20,000 subscribers. So, he waved, and I see that in the app, or the YouTube app, which I have on the phone, but the streaming app, it looks like it doesn't handle that really well. So this looks like it's working, which is great. Alright, I will save and quit this. So I think it's really just that one game. Oh, the other one I want to try, is usual like benchmark I go through, is Doom. I've never actually played the original Doom. I think it was from the 90s. Let's see here. Screen went blank. Yes, Stanley, Doom is on Steam. And you're very welcome. I absolutely love this game. However, it looks like I need to restart the, oh, here it is. It did it by itself. Also, I like having at the top here the frame counter. So, you're going to notice it's going to look weird. It's in the 4:3 ratio. So, with the very powerful graphics cards I have in here in SLI, it's probably going to do very high frame rates, because this is very low resolution right now. But it's just going to try it. So, because it's a little device from a company called Teradek. This has HDMI in and then Ethernet out. So it has a max resolution of 1080, but it looks like it's going even below 1080. But let's try this. So this, if you do play Doom, Vega Central Processing, that level is kind of like my benchmark. At least streaming wise, it looks like it's going pretty well. So we'll try this for a little bit, and then we'll switch to Destiny for a bit.
3, 2, 1, go.
Some of these areas get very intense. Ooh. There's an audio. I would expect there to be an audio delay, so I'm going to have to try and play this without listening to the sound. Stanley, how you doing?
My security systems operate on 2 separate legal networks that terminate in this maintenance facility. Each termination point is protected by an electrified field, but you should
This
survive.
audio delay feels ever so slight. Oh wow, look at the frame rates.
Primary neural security network offline.
Maximum multiplier.
Today was the 20th anniversary of the Midwest
Auxiliary
Rate Show.
neural
Ah,
security
interesting.
network offline.
That's, and Stanley, I'm glad the graphics look good. It's a little bit fuzzy on this, but I think it has to do with the weird aspect ratio.
My vital operating systems are now vulnerable. I recommend destroying my coolant system
That's one of my
first.
favorite parts right here.
This will accelerate the destabilization.
One shot kills with a fist. Bitch slap back there. Alright.
Should you find yourself caught in a level 3 demon contamination event, it is important.
Just reading your comment there for a second. Oh, interesting. I'll have to take a look at that. The strongest line of thunderstorms in the world and that.
A tier 3 valve, and neither should you. Unlike everything else, weaponizing humans for a brighter tomorrow.
Yes, Anthony, the gaming computer is working much better this time because I hardwired everything. I didn't use Wi-Fi, which is always the way to go. I love how there's almost no delay between
Access
the
granted.
game that I'm playing and what's streaming out.
Access granted.
And it looks like the gaming computer is working pretty well with the cooler room. So putting the air conditioner in was definitely worth it.
Extra life acquired.
Yay, extra life.
Early test of Vega's protoplasmic circuitry showed temperatures exceeding 1.2
You are looking at the only absolute zero cooling system ever constructed.
Core temperature rising.
This is one of the So no, I'm not using just YouTube stream Stanley. This is an app called Live to Air. Stop. Well, you don't want to be stationary. So this app is allowing me to take that HDMI and convert it to Ethernet. And then that's plugged into a wireless router that the iPad is connected to. So there's still Wi-Fi involved with this because there's no Ethernet connection for an iPad. Or a faster, easy Ethernet connection for an iPad. But these frame rates look like between 150 and a little bit over 200. Yeah, I don't really have a way. Even though I have an extra life, I am going to quit this. And it's weird, when it quits, it looks like it pops out and in. That's why you see a blue screen. So let me switch this back. For right now at least, until I see the screen continue to pop up. If it doesn't, I guess we'll just end the stream right now. But I'll give it a little time. Let's see. And Stanley, the next time I see you, I'll show you this streaming app. So essentially, actually, I might be able to do this right now with my phone. Because I have the app on the phone as well. Just gotta make sure I'm on the right, on the right Wi-Fi network. Yeah, it's actually not the blue screen of death. That was, you see this blue screen a lot with news stations too. Blue screen, okay, it just popped up. Let's get in some messages here. Alright, I just want to see if I can get this app up. So I have the picture-in-picture ready to go. So Live to Air Remote is the remote app for the iPhone that allows it to go to the iPad. Let's see, not connected, waiting to stream. And this has everything: editor, audio, recording, replay. So there is no need for an instant replay right now because we're not doing live sports. But it has that option. This may pause some things. I just want to see. Nope. Not loading the phone. Don't know why. Alright. Anyway. So, here. I'm just going to start this. And then I like playing the game a little bit on my own. Because this is the first time I'm ever playing this game. And, of course, the password. Don't want to stream out my passwords. Huh? Alright. Oh, actually, there's setup and stuff I have to do. I'll see if I can end this real quick. Alright. So, I think I'm going to end this out right here. So, thank you guys all for joining. Stanley, thank you. I think this is the first time that you joined in on a live conversation. But thank you, Raymond. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Stanley. And thank you, Delvin. I don't know if you're still here. But also, who else do we got? Thank you, Pete. Pete, you joined in for a little bit. So, thank you, everybody. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. I'll be back. I'll try in the next, either, if not tomorrow, I'll have my weekend outlook forecast coming up on Friday. So these are some regular things that are going to be coming up. Tuesdays look like just game streaming. Wednesdays will be the weather podcasts. And I was telling Raymond, and I'll tell all of you guys, weather podcast time I want to try for around 3 o'clock. Tuesdays for game streaming, more so in the evening, probably after dinner time. And then the weekend outlook forecast usually is also posting. I don't go live with that one. That one I usually post after dinner time as well. So, thanks everybody for joining. Have a great evening. Answer for what? Oh, I see. Previous thing. And Stanley, you are very welcome. Anthony, Raymond, thank you guys for the weather conversation. It's always very fun. Have a great evening, guys.